It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard. You liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
Ha, that makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him.
It really boils down to our ability to accept. We don't need pessimism.
What he means by pessimism is resistance. And that's what COINTELPRO was all about, stopping the resistance.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change.
We hide it in plain sight. One of Plato's greatest works was the allegory of the cave. I feel in order to understand the political matrix, we need only to look into this allegory. We first have to open our minds to the possibility everything is not as it seems. That things we've always known to be truth may be lies. For if we can't perceive the lies we've ingested, we can't see the bars on our mental conditioning. For that is how you walk out of the cave and see the political matrix. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Political Matrix. I'm your host, Marcus Young Morpheus Cage, and so glad to be back with you guys. I definitely needed the rest last week. I've had a lot going on in work, and it's just left me like mentally drained and exhausted. And it's just hard to kind of put all this stuff together as I normally would. But we are back, and anything that I missed last week that you guys want to bring up, feel free to bring it up in the chat, and I'll try to talk about it a little bit. But this show, of course, we got to talk about the U.S. turns 250. So in the U.S. 250, of course, there were events all over the country, you know, every 4th of July. But for it being a 250, Trump decided to do, I guess, more of a, I don't know, I felt it was a very like partisan kind of 250 event, which I hate to see that. I mean, I wish that at something like that, that can be a time where you could put politics aside and let everybody just be united. I mean, there's already enough divisive things in our society and enough stuff that are going on. And I'm going to show you guys a video about a question, a long unanswered question that's went on for 174 years, laid out eloquently by Ashley the Baroness. And I'm probably going to show that one in its entirety. I recommend make sure you subscribe to her channel. She does such great work, and you can tell like the stories really you can tell like the stories really impact her, and she feels it, and there's an emotional tie to it, just as it's an emotional tie to many of us on things like this. Of course, we still got the World Cup going on in America, so I imagine that there would be probably some videos coming out about you know, Europeans or just foreigners in general, their experiences being here during the 4th of July. I imagine that this might be interesting and exciting to them. And though I have my own different viewpoints on things, I'll just be upfront with everybody. 4th of July has always been a mixed bag of nuts for me. Mixed for multiple reasons, and I'll get into it definitely later. But for those people who don't have any of these, you know, complications, who are just here having a good time, go out, have a good time, you know, enjoy some good, you know, some good barbecue or grilled meats, and, you know, crack open a couple of brews or whatever your drink of choice is, or if you don't drink, whatever you like to do for fun, maybe some sparklers or, you know, some fireworks. I try not to be too much of a prude about that. I mean, I do get a little bit frustrated when people pop really loud fireworks in residential neighborhoods. That's kind of annoying. I would prefer if, you know, I love it when you go to some kind of like for instance, out here Huntington Beach has a really, really nice setup that they do. A lot of fireworks they pop. I know they pop fireworks around the arch. I know there's a bunch of places which have very, very beautiful fireworks specials that they put on. I just don't necessarily love the big stuff in the neighborhoods. I don't mind, popping some black cats and the regular old stuff, but when it starts getting to you know mortar level, dangerous level, where houses can catch on fire, especially in a very dry area where fires are, very pervasive. I don't love it. And also being when I had pets as being older, I didn't love how it used to scare the crap out of my pets. So that's it, but I'll get into the stuff a little bit later. I guess let me shout out everybody that I see here. See, Miguel is in the building. John is in the building. What's up, Chris H? Jackie. Hey, Jackie. Let's see. Accord Lord, my man. What's up? Who else do we see in here that's already in the building before we get started? 260 years of wage slave. Yeah, I mean, it's always a complex holiday, man. It's always a complex holiday. But before I get into that, I want to get into some of these other stories. I don't know when I'll probably save this for last, the Vinted story. And I'll go ahead and preface this with I have not went through and verified everything. I haven't verified that, oh, well, this is a doctored article, that this was made up, that the ads are fake or false. But if what I saw is what's really on there, it should cause a lot of concern for most of us. And for those who don't know what Vinted is, I only know of it because of the ads that I see every now and then about if you have old clothes and you want to make some money and resell it, you can sell it on Vinted. And so we will get into that. I saw a comment that I wanted to respond to. Yeah, I did notice that, Chris H. I think I am going to talk a little bit about the Ayatollah. Oh, Jackie's comment here said the pubs here are going to be open till 5 a.m. tomorrow just because of the effing footy match, which for me, that is shocking. Honestly, I was like culture shock when I went to the UK because I was already living in Europe at the time. And so going to Spain and going to Italy and going to Greece and some of these other places, which are more Southern Europe or more in the Mediterranean, it's a little bit different than going to, places like in the UK. And the biggest thing that shocked me was how early, bars / pubs closed. I was blown away when I saw it was like pubs that were closing some 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock was like the latest one that I saw. And it was like, so what do you guys do on a Friday night after that? It was like, go home. I'm like, what? For real? Like, that's what young people do? Like, you go home like, oh, well, maybe have a house party and, have some beers around the house or whatever, some Guinness or something. And I'm like, interesting. And then I went to a nightclub and I remember being there I was there on a New Year's Eve and I was blown away by 1 a.m. London was dead, completely dead. And I remember clubs, some of those clubs were, 60 pounds to get in. I mean, some of them were even higher than like the low end was like 60 a piece to get in. It was some of them were like 80 and 90 pounds to get in. And we're talking early 2000s. So I don't want to know how much they charge to get into, a nightclub in London right now during like New Year's Eve and for it just to close at like 1 a.m. So when Jackie says that that the pubs will be open till 5 a.m., that's like, wow, that's shocking. Footy match, I love it. So I have Mohican here, totally into that. So I guess I won't run too long. I'll try not to run too long. I don't want to run into your match because I'm pretty sure that there are fans, you know, UK versus or what, sorry, not UK, England versus Mexico that are playing. So I'll try not to run too much over into that. Or, if you guys, you know, can click that on and listen to me at the same time, I appreciate it. Kyle Kalinske did a video. Let's put this on the screen. Chris H says Kyle Kalinske did a video featuring Prospera. The video is really about Peter Thiel and his evil agenda. What they want is even worse than Prospera. They want to make a whole worldwide. Well, yeah, and how they're starting is they're starting with impoverished countries in Latin America, and they'll start probably into different parts of Africa. And what they'll do is they'll find areas where there's poverty, but there is beautiful coastlines, an area that could be gorgeous with investment. But because of external pressures and internal pressures within their own government and corruption, they've been prevented from proper investment in some of these places, and that's why they're cheap for the pickings for these libertarian type billionaires to come in and start making their own cities. And the one Prospera down in Honduras is only like one of the first. I mean, there are multiple ones already out there. And for those who don't understand the concept or don't remember, need a little refresher, they have basically taken a certain part of a town and allowed for a municipality of that local area to basically set up a separate government from the government of that city or ciudad, or or the state as a whole, so that they can run their own shadow libertarian government, which doesn't have to follow any of the local rules or even federal or international rules. And that's a little outpost which they want. And eventually their goal will be to bring that back home, or to bring that to their former homelands of, I think probably South Africa, since many of these libertarians who are doing this stuff are South Africans. I can see that them trying to do that in some of those areas like Cape Town or something. And then eventually just keep advancing until you get that into the so-called first world countries. So nightclubs are open till about 2 a.m. in England, Scotland, Wales, and then okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess 2 a.m. is kind of a standard a lot of places. I know when I got to Florida, I was pretty bummed out that the clubs were, last call at 1:30 and booting people out at 1:45. I was like, damn, even Kansas City stays open later than that. And so it shocked me to live in Florida and now living in LA that both of these two places, nightclubs shut down before Kansas City does, the flyover state. And there's more after spots and there. So I don't know, it's just interesting. Everyone will be watching the Mexico-England match. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will. Since I can't believe Brazil got eliminated. I don't know. I guess I probably need like a World Cup like guide right now, because I don't really follow it. It's never been a sport that says, sorry, I can't bring myself to call it soccer. I would be skinned alive. I understand that. I mean, I'll call it football, and I always say football international so I can separate when I'm talking to Americans. I mean, I understand that they called it football first. I don't have a problem with that. I just wish that maybe in America we would have came up with a different name much earlier before, the name took over here. And so with Americans, they're not good on change. So there's no way that I see either one changing it. I mean, I guess, football Americano, and, that works. But I don't know. I never could get into the sport. Just never could get into it. So, but I'm not hating on anybody who loves their team and support them. I watch a lot of people running around and flopping. That's what it looks like to me. Looks like they're not used to taking any kind of contact. And then just the notorious cheating of FIFA. I couldn't get into it. Plus, I don't understand the rules. It's a lot of running around to hope you score one time. If you score two times, that's like considered a blowout. Like, no, this that's a whole lot of running around for not accomplishing something. And many people who will run around the whole damn game and never do anything. Say lay B13, welcome. I guess we have a football fan here. Maybe they can, kind of add to the conversation and kind of, say, hey, American, this is what you're missing. And I'm open-minded. I mean, if somebody can get me into it, I think also it makes a difference when you don't really have a team. And I feel like some of these football fans are so impassioned about their team, and I respect it because of this immense love that they have for their teams. And I respect it. I admire it. It's pretty cool. Say he's an Aussie. Okay, cool. Um, it's such a complicated relationship with America. It's like it's such a love-hate relationship with America, especially as a Black American. Um, so there's so many different things that just make it like tough. Like I remember, I wish I can find like a little clip of it, but Chris Rock made the joke. He said, for a Black American, it's like America is like the uncle that paid your way through college and helped set you up for life, but molested you at the same time. I mean, that's kind of like, where how it sits. It's a complicated mix. Fixing it for Argentina. Ooh. And that's another thing. I was in a back and forth, well, not a back and forth chat, but I responded to somebody because I saw there's a lot of support for Mexico's winning World Cup. It's looking that way. I mean, I got a couple of guys which I work with that are Mexican nationals, and it was like, the fixing within Mexico. I don't think we can win, and I'm like, you can't be so pessimistic. I mean, how do you know? It could be Mexico's year, and so don't go so so negative so fast. And he's like, oh yeah, but the corruption that happens here and there. But I've also heard that the cartel was actually threatening players on other teams, to help Mexico get ahead. So I don't think that it doesn't seem like they're fixing it for their own team to lose. And then I was listening to Abba and Preach, and Abba and Preach, they were talking about how that just in the football world, how you can see how investment in some of the teams which typically didn't get that investment, and some of their best players would leave and go abroad and go play for other teams. And you're starting to see more investment in some of those teams which typically didn't, and you're starting to see more of a shift to more of these different players who might, like somebody put in there, a Cape Verdean, or somebody who might be from Senegal or Ghana, or somebody who decides that they're going to go play for, Colombia or something. And you're starting to see more of that. And I don't know, as a kid who always loved the Olympics, I always thought it was the coolest thing seeing somebody stand up and play for their home countries and in a friendly battle. That's a way that we can kind of go to war without nobody being harmed. And you win one, I win one, and it's not this. It's something that we can laugh about and have a healthy competition. And so I'm all for healthy competition. Says, I think Egypt or Turkey going versus Mexico. I think that's going to be tough, especially what I've seen how they're bombarding the hotels that the guest players are staying in, and making a whole lot of noise and keeping it like extremely like noisy and trying to be disruptive of them so they don't get sleep. And I mean, I guess that's part of having a home field advantage. I'm just honestly, one of the things I'm glad about the most is I I haven't seen the violence which I normally hear about with a lot of the, the international football fans, where I remember years back about a coach getting stabbed, and I'm just like, hopefully they don't bring any of that kind of that stuff over here. And honestly, one of the things I was disappointed to see that they did bring over here is some of the racism, which, not surprised, Argentina, as usual, is the culprit. But I think for the most part, a lot of the racism has been minimized. I don't know why there's such a problem in football with the racism. I don't know. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. But I don't know. It's a problem, and that's another thing that's kind of like made me not really love the sport. I mean, not really be a big fan of it. But I don't know. That's what I say. I try to keep an open mind. And if somebody could kind of like get me, into it. I know when I was in Italy, I did root for Italy for a little bit. But I don't really root for anybody now. And I just don't root for anybody now. I don't know enough about the sport. I mean, and I would feel like a bandwagoner to just hop on anything. And then I don't know, it always felt weird going for the United States when I feel it's more of a it's the international community. It's y'all sport. Y'all can have it. We're not going to try to come in and dominate it. Y'all can have it. So, what's up, lovely two?
What's up, y'all? Sorry, I'm out here being a stepmom. I done took my kid grocery shopping and to go get like his first job application. So I'm sorry, I lost track of time.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about FIFA and the World Cup. And they're trying to, I guess explain to me, some of the people who look like they might be, pretty close to win, or possibly could win the whole thing.
Is Argentina one of them?
Actually, I got to correct you, Miguel. That's actually not true. They actually got their stuff stolen in Miami. And when they got to Kansas City, their stuff got shipped to them there.
Hey, Norway.
But I can't sit there and try to defend my city entirely, because we got a random shooter who's running around the town and who just spraying random cars and almost took out a couple of World Cup tourists.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about how Norway brought their own food in though.
It was Norway, huh? Somebody,
yeah,
I couldn't
Norway.
remember which country it was. I know multiple people have told me different countries.
Yeah, Norway was like, we're not eating y'all stuff. They brought their own oranges, and that was crazy. I said, damn, they ain't playing with us.
I don't blame them. See, a lot of these videos that I've been seeing, and we talked about it last week about the propaganda that's going on, and it's like, it's easy for you to come to America and you have money in your pocket and come over here and have a great time, because there's so much option and variety that you can have. And there's also a certain hospitality that you don't have in other countries. But at the same time, for that high level of hospitality that you can have and warm feelings, you can go right around the corner and have everything taken from you and end up with a knife left in your back. I mean, and so when I'm seeing people say, oh, look at how beautiful this park is, you would never see a park this nice in South Africa. Yeah, okay, but if I take you across another side of town, I can show you one that looks more terrifying that you would never see. And so I guess the frustration with some of these videos, propping everything up, is it's painting such this lovely, great impression. And I think it's going to lead down the road to danger for travelers to America, thinking that everything is like, the Wizard of Oz, and it's just so great and so nice and so plentiful, and it's so safe.
I have a feeling, I don't know, maybe that's how your algorithm is, but I've also, I've also seen the world, and I've been able to go to different places, and people have this weird connotation like Africa is just this disparaged like third world country, when it's really not. They have beautiful parks and beautiful greenery and beautiful areas and stuff like that. So like, what I've noticed is I have yet to see one African FIFA group come over here and go, "Oh my God, America is so amazing." They ready to go the fuck back home.
Yeah, that's the one
You
thing.
know what I'm saying? I
All
see a lot of
the,
Europeans doing it, but no,
yeah,
like
all of the people have been Europeans. I mean, I've seen a couple of Argentinians, but I really haven't even seen most of the Latin countries say that. Yeah, I mean, I've seen what the Koreans, but I haven't seen nothing from the Taiwanese. I haven't heard the Japanese saying that. I don't know, it's just interesting. And I know some of these countries I've been to in Europe where the food is very limited. Service is very limited. Also, that's something that can get you sucked in real easily. And then they think of, oh, well, this is so cheap. And it's like, yeah, but you guys don't realize how many things you have to pay for in America and what our cost of living is in America. You know, you people will hear this number amount. Oh, somebody makes 70,000 a year. Okay, what part of the country do they live in? That makes a huge difference on how much money you make because it's relative to where you live. If you make 70,000 a year and you live in Mississippi, you living like a king. But you make 70,000 a year and you live in the heart of DC,
you're poor, you're homeless.
You are damn near homeless. Yeah. And I think that's not often relayed. Like I remember this video a couple of years back. This Egyptian guy was talking about how, you know, how Americans have it so great and look how much money they make. And it's like, bro, if I explain to you how much I make and the fact that I live in like a 1-bedroom studio in LA, and there are people who make more than me who are like struggling. But before we get into the 250, because I held that, and I know that you definitely wanted to talk about the Haitian TPS situation.
You know, I'm upset about that.
I know I put that in there. I don't know if you've heard about the Vinted situation, which I'm pretty sure maybe you have, but if not, I'll show it for everybody. But before we get going, I wanted to show an update on a situation that's been going on out here. Remember we talked about the Boyle Heights fire?
Yeah.
I need to show everybody what's going on now because it's gotten worse.
Damn, niggas is dying already from the mesothelioma claims. What number we got to call?
I don't know what they're going to be calling, but they're going to need to call something. Anybody who's a little squeamish, I've given you a warning.
The acrid smoke is cleared, but residents are now suffering.
Of course, it's buffering on me. What? Hold on 1 second. Let me check something. Yep.
I told you, I say it every time. I'm just trying. You keep so he can stop cutting out.
All right. It looks like my signal should be good.
Because I want to know,
so
are they faces melting?
Okay, it should be good now.
Residents are now suffering through the aftermath. Tons of rotting food is putting off a pungent stench that's so bad it's leading to cancellations as we approach.
Okay, since it doesn't want to play, I'll tell you guys what's going on with this. Right now they have an extremely pungent smell that's been going on with all the rotted meat. And it's a mixture of all the different rotting meats that are in there, from fish to pork and rancid meat that's been sitting out in the heat And now there's massive infestation of rats that are like plaguing that whole entire neighborhood.
Plague.
And so it's bad. It's really bad. And keep in mind how big this warehouse is. This warehouse, and especially for my non-American friends, hopefully you can imagine a warehouse the size of multiple city blocks that is full of meat. And we're talking about probably, I don't even know the amount, probably like a ton of spoiled, rotten meat. And now you're starting to have all of the different
vermin.
You know, when it starts going past the spoiled stage and it starts to become a biohazard.
Yeah.
That's the situation we have here now. And so now they're going to have to plow down this whole building. But
what?
Yeah.
That's insane.
But they have to go in somehow and get out all of this rotted meat with the rats and creepy crawlers all over the place. Is disgusting.
And you want to know something? You know who don't want to do that type of job? White people.
Who?
White people.
Nah. Let me see if it'll play now.
So I guess this is the best time to be like, hey, remember all those immigrants you didn't want in the country?
Well, you know how they pulled off of that. Well, for the most part.
But they were just trying to get rid of birthright citizens 2 weeks ago. They literally was trying to do like pre-Thanksgiving, pre-4th of July, as like, let's get rid of the people with birthrights. Like, get out of here. By the way, I just want to throw out the fact I don't celebrate 4th of July. I go to some kickbacks and shit, but I do not celebrate 4th of July because I feel that the 4th of July is a KKK block party.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it definitely.
That's just me.
Let me see if it'll play now. I think I let it sit for a moment. Maybe it'll play.
Coach July 4th celebrations.
The business owner of the building says it's committed to the fastest cleanup possible.
Let's say or not. I guess it won't play. But to give in like context, Till, do you know how close this place is to me?
4 miles away.
Pretty close. It's like 5-6 miles away.
Can you smell it?
Thank God I don't smell it.
You can't smell the
direction.
Okay.
Thank God I don't smell it. But the direction I go to work, I go south away from it, and it's to the north of me.
Okay.
So luckily, I'm where I live is far enough away where we're not smelling it, and I go the opposite direction when I go to work. So let me show you guys, if you don't remember, the size of the warehouse. Yeah, but they're gonna have to tear down this whole thing because it's completely contaminated. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, this thing is, gosh, this thing is so massive.
That's insane, though. That's some shit, though. Hey, this place, we put faulty solar panels on this motherfucker, and now it's finna to blow up. But before it blows up, it's gonna get rancid as hell and cause a biohazard for the whole world. And now there's a plague, and now there's rats with plague running around on the meats.
Mm-hmm. So let me switch over to this one instead.
Welcome to America.
Yes.
This is so.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
that's an American thing. Like, we got so much.
What's crazy, like, well, that's another thing. How many people talk about how, you know, like these videos you've been seeing about people talking about how great everything is, but you don't see any of this stuff.
Hell no, they can't let this overshadow FIFA. You know,
it's just like how
relax.
It's just like LA is a World Cup city, but you can't see any of the Yeah, just so you guys can see. You see these right here? These are semi trucks.
Jesus.
So you see how massive this is, and look at the top. Till all of these across the top are all
Are
solar
those solar
panels.
panels? Yeah.
The whole building is solar panels, and you literally have about half of the building's roof is completely burned up.
It's the
And
same.
so let's see, editor's note, this was updated. Okay, so a massive warehouse in Boyle Heights was officially declared knocked down by Los Angeles fire officials on Wednesday. The Lineage warehouse fire prompted air quality advisories and a state of emergency. Now officials are concerned about rats, rotting food, strong odors. The one local resident said, reminding him of a meat packing plant. On Friday morning, firefighters were preparing to turn over the property to Lineage, who operated the burn cold storage facility, for cleanup. In a statement on Thursday, Lineage said that they have hired Signal Restoration Services to lead the cleanup and restorations effort, and that they have already staged equipment on site. Robust plans for disinfection, odor control, and pest control will be implemented, and are exploring multiple avenues to minimize disruption to the community, including the use of watertight trailers and containers to transport waste offsite, the statement said. Lineage also said that the cold storage facility did not contain any hazardous material, and that their team quickly removed ammonia from the facility. Though residents, academics, and environmental advocates are still concerned about the long-term effects of the burning materials on surrounding communities. A new brief from the UCLA Latino Policy and Politics found that at least 31,700 workers live within the smoky advisory zone, and around 8 in 10 are Latino. But you look at the side of this, that thing is just demolished. And the thing about it is, it doesn't have to be like they talked about hazardous products on site. It doesn't have to be hazardous products on site. When you're shooting in that water and halogen, and it's all sitting there with decayed, animals and rotten meat and all that, it's going to create its own biohazards, regardless of whatever products might have been there or not. So that's kind of like a nothing burger to say, oh, well, it's not going to, it didn't have anything in there. So I just wanted to give an update on that story, because how crazy that was. Another thing that I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit before we got into things is the situation in Sudan is getting worse and worse and worse. And they've been requesting for help from the Trump administration. I don't think that that's going to happen, but
Trump don't even like black people. Donald Trump doesn't care about black people.
You see, you on your Kanye? I get it.
I'm on my Kanye. Donald Trump doesn't care about black people. Like, the fuck, especially not immigrants. Immigrant niggas. Oh no, that's not even his stilo.
Why aren't Americans doing the immigrant jobs then? The reason why Americans are not doing the immigrant jobs,
because they bougie.
You really want to know?
They bougie.
Well, also, if you qualify for a job that makes a couple of dollars more, where you have to do a little less work, aren't you going to take it? And I mean, that's what it comes down to. Also, you have some of the people who are on different kind of benefits or whatever. If you make more on welfare than going to get an actual job, what are you going to do? See, part of the problem in America is the fact of many of the jobs don't want to pay, what would be an equitable cost of living for the environment or every area where you're living. And so what happens is, if somebody has a kid that has some kind of special needs or whatever, and they qualify for government assistance, they're going to take that government assistance over going to go work a job, then have to try to pay a babysitter. And then you get what I'm saying? It's just, at a certain point, you're doing yourself a disservice to not take the benefit. It's kind of dumb. And I'm not advocating for people to abuse the system, but when the system is not giving you proper options, you got to do what's best for you. So the reason why you'll always have immigrants in this country, I don't care what kind of crazy stuff that they try to say that they're going to do, or they try to boot out. The reason why you'll always have them is because there are employers who have started a business and they've been making money off of that business for so long on cheap labor. They cannot afford to pay, legitimate wages. And so when you have somebody who's out picking strawberries for $25 an hour, and you got somebody who works at In and Out for $23 an hour, which one are you gonna do? You gonna go work in the hot ass sun, or you gonna go work at In and Out and flip some burgers? And
still all in all, boo. Remember this part too. It's still not a livable wage.
Yeah, either one is not a livable
You're
wage.
still homeless. You're still homeless on either one.
Well, what it is you might make $25 an hour, but you're probably living with a roommate or living with your parents or whatever. You're not making $25 an hour and living in your own place by yourself.
No.
You in LA, you need a roommate if you're making $25 an hour. You honestly, in order for you to live by yourself, you need to be making like $35, $40 an hour.
Yep. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to live by myself. I own my home. It's a super big blessing. I need to stop taking it for granted because homosexuals are up 50% this year. Okay. And y'all might be like, what's a homosexual? And a homosexual is a person that literally gets into a relationship under the guises of being able to be in somebody's dwelling. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't even give a fuck about the relationship. They just don't like their living situation. And that has spiked up 50% since 2015. Just want to throw that out there. So more than half of the relationships people are in is because they're a homosexual. They don't even like you. So keep that in mind.
It's a lot of marriages, especially out here, where people ain't leaving because they're like, well, if I get divorced, where the fuck am I live?
That ass. I got a friend right now. He's with his wife still. Cheats on her. Well, in by layman's terms, he's cheating, based off the fact that they're not divorced yet. But he got like 6, 7 girlfriends, but he won't leave out the crib because he don't want to lose it in the divorce because all they pay is $750 for a condo on the beachfront in Virginia Beach. $750 for a beachfront property in Virginia Beach is insane. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Whoopty whoop. I say, man, I'd try to outlive her ass too. Shit.
Yeah, you want to get into a 1-bedroom apartment in LA. 1-bedroom apartment, not in a nice area or anything. In fact, not in a nice area, in a bad neighborhood.
In what? You live in what?
You probably about to pay $1,700 for a 1-bedroom easy.
And Kendrick Lamar gonna be doing a music video outside your crib.
You might even be looking at $2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment in a bad area.
Yeah, me child. I could never. And that's exactly why I never moved to California. But it was bad enough that I was paying like $1,500 for my 1-bedroom apartment in Vegas. But I lived right off the strip. So
yeah.
Locality. I get that. Out of the locality of it, I lived off the strip. Police get to you faster. But like that was still 1570.
I know a guy which he's not living in the biggest, fanciest house, but for him and his I think 3 kids or 4 kids, his mortgage is close to $7,000 a month.
That's insane. That's insane.
This is average blue collar. This is blue collar.
7,000. My house, to pay off my house when I did it, we did pay it off. Granted, my mom had it my whole life, so it was a blessing. But it took me 2 of those motherfucking mortgage payments to pay my house off. Like what? 2 and some change. 2 and some change mortgage payments took me to fucking pay my house off. That's insane. I could never. I'm not paying no 7,000 for shit. Hell no. I'd be damned if I work and make that much money in a check just to watch it go to my mortgage. Nah, I'm good. But hey, this is what we celebrated 250 years of freedom for. Woo!
And while we're at it, let's go on ahead and move on to that topic. Man, I really hope that this. Let me do another speed check to see if my stuff is going to behave. Let's see, because sometimes it gets better within the show, sometimes it slows down between the show. I don't know. Let's see. Because I got a video that, I mean, it's so well done. And I don't want to paraphrase what Ashley says in here because she nails it so perfectly. So I do want to share that video, but let's pull up. Oh, let me close.
Why are you pulling that up? I'm gonna say my piece about 4th of July. All right, first off,
go for it.
If it's the 5th of July and you still wearing very, very flagrant America clothing, I'm gonna think you part of the Klan. Off the cuff. If you got all of your family dripped up in red, white, and blue, I'm gonna think you part of the Klan. I ain't never seen this much American pride ever, unless it was at a MAGA rally. I think they part of the Klan. Okay. Now the worst part is,
did you see what Kate said?
No, what Kate said? I'm driving. You got to read it to me.
Oh, she said my husband just bought a condo in downtown Vancouver, BC, 1.5 mil. When I bought my first house in 1977, 12,000 on 3/4 of an acre land.
That's insane. That's insane. That's insane.
12,000. Oh my gosh.
That's not the price I need right now. I'll put that down right now. Times have changed. But if you, as an American, you decided you was gonna pack your family up and come all the motherfucking way to Williamsburg, Virginia, to the first city, to the first state, to the first whatever for the 250th anniversary on some dick riding America shit, I'ma think you in the Klan. I'm sorry. Any person that's coming all the way out here to look at some funky ass fireworks and a drone show because niggas want to talk about freedom, I think you're part of the Klan. Because at the end of the day, this whole day was about y'all being oppressed by some other people that look like y'all, and y'all was mad that they was oppressing you. But yet, for some reason, once the 4th of July hit, niggas forgot about the oppression and was like, yeah, fuck everybody else. I'm so confused. Because when black people come to you and say, hey, we're oppressed, y'all be like, it's fucking a figment of your imagination.
Yeah.
But the 4th of July is real. But y'all gonna turn around and say Juneteenth is a made-up holiday. I am so confused. I thought all holidays were made the fuck up. Thus me saying the 4th of July is nothing more than the KKK block party. Period. Nationwide KKK block parties. I dropped so many clans in Kente uniform. I dropped that, you know, you seen it. The Kente Ku Klux Klan out of your regalia. I was dropping that in everybody's inbox yesterday. Every time somebody said happy 4th to me, I said happy KKK block party. Here you go. Happy KKK. Just like Christmas, happy white double holiday. Merry Christmas. Yeah, because Kwanzaa is the day after.
See.
What's a Jewish holiday?
See, for me, the reason why it's always
African, nigga. Hanukkah is fucking Jewish. Jeremiah, don't make me embarrass you on my podcast, son. My 15-year-old stepson in the car, he just thought Kwanzaa was Jewish. It's Hanukkah, nigga. The menorah, that's Hanukkah. Kwanzaa is niggas. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, y'all. You got to start young. Got to start them young, baby. Got to start them young. Start with the youth. Jews just have a lot of holidays to get up. Yes, because they don't like working and they some penny. Oh, Lord, I can't say that on the air. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm back, y'all. Sorry, I had to get on my real about the app juice. You can't say the J word on the internet. Marcus, are you frozen? Yeah, I think Marcus froze. Political Matrix. It's on YouTube. Yes, you can watch your stepmom on YouTube. That's what I'm sorry. You was like, what? I can watch on YouTube, Mom? You're too young to have a YouTube channel. Because I only post stuff about broadcasting. Didn't we just have this conversation about children being predatized? Oh, hey y'all, not pregnant. I said predator. Yes, because what we were just don't be on the internet being fetishized and stuff. I don't like that. Sorry, y'all. I'm fussing at my stepson right now. Well, I'm not fussing. He's a very intelligent young man. It's my baby. He's 15. And I took him grocery shopping for the first time. He learned the importance of having a grocery list. You know, he understood what budgeting was. We did really, really good going grocery shopping. Fuck your hair out. And yeah, well, I don't know what happened to Marcus. See, Marcus and his FBI agent, every week, y'all got to start reminding him, like throughout the week when y'all send him clips or talk to him and stuff, tell him, please pay the FBI agent, because the FBI agent be so quick to knock us off. It is insane. And while y'all are doing that, I'm gonna open up the comments so I can read the comments. See what y'all talking. Okay, boom. Yeah, we lost Marcus. Tiny hats are big problems. Hey, shout out Accord Lord. You ain't never lied. Tiny hats are big problems. Okay, they cause the biggest of problems, to be honest. I.e., World War II. That's crazy. Yeah, y'all. You know we can't say the J word. We can't say the J word now. I know, Bad Cookies. He about to be back on. I hope he's back on in a little bit, because, baby, y'all know me. I'm going to be quick to tell y'all about my feelings about some things, because the 250th anniversary of, like, freedom and stuff, it just seems a little oddball to me, to be honest. I mean, I get, you know what I'm saying, hashtag shout out party, but, like, all that other stuff is kind of in between at the end of the day, because it's wild how, like, freedom only stops, or freedom only rings for the fair skins, but then when it comes down to the, you know, the little darker melanated company that we keep, now it's non-existent. There's no such thing as freedom anymore for us, which I just thought was wild. Hold your horses.
Let's see. Can you hear me?
Oh, Mike is back. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe some word that we didn't queued off that is like, all right, F y'all. I'm gonna cut y'all off for a minute.
Well, I didn't say Jay's.
Maybe it knew you was about to go on a rant.
It knew. It was like, stop her before she started.
Like, I know her too well.
Stop her before she starts.
But I don't know why it's still not connecting my camera, but whatever. We'll just leave the camera off for the time being.
For that. Shout out Jackie. Hey Jackie.
All right.
Glad to see you still with us from across the pond. I heard 1,300 people just came up dead because of the heat. I didn't know the people across the pond didn't even have AC units at first. That was kind of bothering something to me, because I was like, "What? Y'all ain't got AC? That's crazy."
Because they're not used.
They ain't never needed. Yeah, they ain't never needed before. So like,
yeah,
if you don't believe it, y'all better start listening
like
to
living out here in Florida.
DiCaprio.
I mean, it's kind of like moving from California to Florida.
True shit. It's a different fight. It's a different type of heat.
Yeah, moving from Florida to California. A lot of people out here in California don't have ACs, and some do have ACs, and they only put it on every once in a while.
Yeah, but the East Coast, we be racking the bill.
Whereas in Florida, you're running your AC 24/7.
Yeah,
and that's another thing that's not factored in. When some of these tourists are talking about, oh, it only cost me this much to get all this food. Okay, yeah, but do you know how much our energy costs are? Do you know how much somebody in Texas electric bill is?
No. Well, our electricity company just monopolized, so they charging us whatever the fuck they want to charge us now as a state. And like the state of Virginia's entire electric company monopolized, and we only have one. And now they just racked up our rates so bad that even government buildings, like state-ran buildings, schools and stuff, they're telling people like, do not use space heaters. Turn the AC off before you leave your room. Turn all your lights off. Unplug everything out of your classrooms, because the the rate of electricity has went up. That's some shit to tell a government building they got to turn their shit off.
Yeah,
like what?
I mean, you got to save. You got to save because those bills will keep going up. I mean, I always think back to when I was living in Florida, for instance. I paid what $690 a month for my studio that I was staying in. My electric bill was about $450.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
oh look, the
because
Mormons
running
is
the
outside
AC
today.
24/7. Because you got to run the AC 24/7. I mean, if you turn the AC off, it gets so hot and so nasty in your
And so
place, and
sticky.
it takes more energy to get it back up to speed. So you just sit there just suffering in the heat for like an hour before it finally, catches up. So it's just better to just keep it going. And then a lot of other places, once the sun goes down, the heat goes away. It doesn't work that way in Florida. It can be midnight and still be like 94 degrees outside. And so you're not escaping the heat. And I think like watching some of those like one video that's kind of caught me off guard with a lot of the Europeans is them freaking out about school buses. Like, you really think we just put school buses in movies for no damn reason? Like, you think that they just made that up just for a movie? I don't know. Have you seen that too?
What?
All the Europeans that freak out when they see a yellow school bus.
No, they don't have yellow school buses. What am I missing? Europeans don't have yellow school buses? Lord Jesus. What the hell did we say now, Marcus? Oh, Marcus went mute. I went mute on a nigga. French Montana. Been stuck on my shit. But what color, Jackie, what color school buses y'all got over there? I'm sorry, I'm lost on that one. I didn't know that. What? Big school bus. I didn't even know that was a trigger word. I really didn't. I didn't know big yellow school bus was gonna be a trigger word. You know what I'm saying? We won't even talk about
I would
nobody.
never figure that either.
Okay, Marcus, like big yellow school bus is a trigger word.
But yeah, school buses is something that they don't have, I guess. And I get it. They take public transportation. But honestly, in America, you couldn't do that. Public transportation would be so unsafe to put your kids on a regular basis.
Well, the school district that I work for,
I wouldn't.
They don't allow it anymore. Those kids got kicked off of public transportation. They're not even allowed to use public transportation to get to school. They can only use their school buses. And if they get on the wrong school bus, then they get in trouble for that as well. They can only get on the school buses that they are allowed, that their badges allow them to get on.
Right. And I saw like out here, I was kind of like, they do it even a little different than what I'm used to. Like, I'm used to the old school way where the bus like shows up at a certain spot and all the kids have to at least walk to that accompanied bus stop. I've seen so many buses here that are stopped literally in front of people's houses. I'm like, wait a minute. I ain't never seen this before. You just picking the kids up literally at their house?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I've
only seen that if you got special needs. Only special needs kids that they did that for.
No, I live in a pretty rural area. So
now we all used to have to walk like if it was an apartment complex, we had to walk out of the apartment complex to like that main street. And like all the kids would be standing there, and you see kids coming from the houses across the street, some from the apartment complex, and then you see like, I don't know, a good 10, 15 kids all standing on the corner waiting for the bus. Like, it's wild to me that they don't.
I'm right here.
I'm like, are y'all schools that close? Well, and that's another thing also. I don't a lot of people who are first time coming to the States, they're finally realizing like the gravity of like how large the states are and cities are in in the United States. It's like they don't realize the United States is massive. It's not like, some of these areas that they're used to where, oh, okay, yeah, I can walk to school. It's only a 10-minute walk. I mean, you can be in the same school district and you might be looking at an hour walk.
Love you. All right. I'm definitely the
Let's see.
stepmom now.
Oh, I'm gonna pass this one to Teal
Oh,
because
shit.
she splits the babies in that way. She is the half Haitian, half Black American. And so since they were specifically called, then I'll let her come to the
Yeah, I know how to be
Haitians and Africans
dates beforehand. Or if it's him, nevertheless. Marcus, are you still with me? Did we lose Marcus again? Did we lose me? I'm so confused. Who did we lose? Hold on, I'm about to open the comments back up, y'all, because I'm trying to figure out who did we lose. Yes, connection. See, connection issues have entered the chat. This is crazy. Okay, I don't know why FBAs hate Haitians so bad. I honestly, I think I do know. I think I know exactly why they hate the Haitians so bad. So, first off, when you think about the Haitians or whatever. Is that you, Marcus? You scared the hell out of me. First off, when you start thinking about Haitians, you got to understand that the Haitians, every time you bring up the Haitians or every time you look at a Haitian or every time Haitians are, you know what I'm saying, even in the conversation, even in the equation, the first thing you have to remember is that these are the humans that created and started these revolts for Black and brown people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were the ones that started the revolution and, you know what I'm saying, got everybody to band together. They're also one of the countries that helped the most for the Latin, American countries to get their freedom as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody likes to bang on Haiti's top all the time, but they don't never want to give them niggas their kudos for what the fuck they did when it comes to us even being able to celebrate freedom in the first fucking place. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just real wild that be the first thing that they ever, like, come out of their face when it comes to Haitians. They be so quick to oppress them. But goddamn, that's scary as hell.
Can you hear me now? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Now the reason, oh, there we go. We lost Teal, I guess. So the reason why they
Marcus, are you back?
a lot of these hopes to get reparations, I think they feel if they don't separate themselves from other groups, then that's going to threaten their claim on reparations. But to me, that's dumb because I've never seen Africans or Haitians or anybody else trying to get in on reparations for Black Americans. And it's almost kind of like, to me, I almost feel like it's a straw man to get out grievances, which they've always had. And some of it, I think, comes down to bitterness and jealousy. You do have
FBAs are all fucking crabs in a barrel any
Africans
fucking way.
who talk trash on Black Americans. And I think some of that's went on for many years is kind of soured the relationship. But at the same time, there's a lot of FBAs or Black people who just feel this mentality of, you know what, just F everybody. You know what, we all we got, F everybody. We can't trust or rely on anybody. So we are going to separate ourselves off into this very, very small, minuscule pool, and that's how we're going to be effective. Now, to me, I think I don't think that plan is going to work. Honestly, I don't believe reparations is ever going to happen. I don't believe there's no way under God's green earth that this country, America, ever, no way Americans will ever pay reparations. And when you segment yourself into such a small group, you literally start relegating away any kind of power, because mostly how anything is building coalitions. You don't get a very, very small portion of the population who virtually has no political power to somehow now have political power to enforce something which majority of the people are not willing to help with. You have many of the white people in this country who are like, I don't give a damn, we're not giving you nothing. And then you have a lot of people who immigrate to this country who don't understand the history of what's went on in this country and automatically side with I don't want nothing coming out of my check. And so even though you're coming in a dispute that's going on and money that's owed between groups of people, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too by saying, you know what, I get that there's this ongoing problem that's going on that needs to be rectified, but I don't want to pay nothing out of it. I just want to come to America and benefit. So I don't know. I think that's part of it, because I'm in the camp of supporting reparations across the board for all different people. And my belief system is if other groups bonded with FBAs to help FBAs get reparation and use the numbers, I think that FBAs should also help with Haitians. We should also help with whatever other groups decide to help us. And that's how I feel it should be done. And I feel like that's the only real successful play that we have, because now you are using a total force of power, will, and wealth at the same time. Because you're going to have a certain group of Black people, FBAs, who don't give a damn about none of this. You're going to have a certain group of FBAs who are like, hey, man, I'm only worried about my money. I'm not trying to mess up my money, so I'm not going to do nothing. And so while there's so much focus on separating from all these other people who appear to be skin folks, there's so much division within Black Americans that right there has to be solved before you can even do anything. And I feel like this focusing so much energy on people outside of Black Americans is a fool's errand. The energy should be on focusing on uniting within Black Americans, and then moving on to, okay, now we need to weed out who's problematic in this dichotomy. I don't know. Did you get all that? Hopefully y'all heard all that.
Yeah, we heard it.
Yeah, and I don't, the whole, see, my question that I'll ask with the whole Jason Blacks that claim that they're natives, you telling me that you're the natives, but somehow more so-called other natives are here than you. How did all these people get here? That I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I do believe that yes, some black people were here far before Europeans got here. Yes, but do I believe that this continent was fully so-called black people? Hell no. It just doesn't make sense. Because where did all these other so-called, other people come from? And how did they come over and take over and dominate so much of everything else? It just doesn't make sense. And I would go even a step further. So what you're telling me is you guys are the natives, but yet you are able to be overcome by multiple groups of people. And so if you're able to be taken over by this group of people and then this group of people and then enslaved by this group of people, and now you're demanding to get reparations, you've not shown me that you have the ability to fight and win anything. So it's like, what are you talking about over here? Now, I don't know, maybe I'm out of line for saying all that, but I don't know. It's just a lot of these people, they just sound silly to me, trying to take history and twist it into something else. And it's like, because I feel many of these black people are embarrassed because of our ancestors were enslaved, they got to create a whole nother narrative so that they were never a slave. And to create a history that you can't substantiate, not en masse. Hell, even like the Gullah Geechee, which consider themselves natives, they literally talk about how it's an infusion of African and native cultures that built up their tribes, that they're not indigenous to here. You go into the Seminoles. The Seminoles was a breeding of runaway slaves and Native Americans. And like I say, do I believe that there were people who were here that are native to this land before Europeans came? Yes. But no way in the world do I believe most black people in America are natives. Most of us are descendants of chattel slavery out of Africa. And since we're in this era of everybody thinks they're a scholar and everybody can create whatever history that they want to create, that's what we're going to have. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, too.
So the initial question is the FBA thing. Me, because I just need like people to understand, if anybody is getting reparations for anything, Haitians need reparations from France.
And that's
we started this shit, and we started this shit, bro. So if you have an issue with Haiti, the reason that people don't like Haitians so fucking much has everything to do with the fact that, like, we started this whole revolution thing. Whenever you think about Haiti or Haitians, you think about the revolution that we created. We started the thing that we helped everybody else with. Nobody wants to fucking help the bully. Or nobody ever wants to help the kid that starts beating up the bully. You ever notice that in those stories, it's always the kid against the bully by themselves, and everybody's like, oh, yay, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. But, like, after that, don't nobody be giving a fuck about that person. Prime example, Haiti.
I have never heard Haitians try to get reparations from America.
We are just trying to get our bread back from France. That's what we want. We want our bread back from France, bro.
That's what's so weird to me. It's like, dude, they not coming after your money. Relax.
I don't care. Like, no.
But sorry, we got a little off topic there. But sometimes some of these things need to be addressed. But here, I can't share the video. But you know what I figured is a happy compromise. I can play it from my phone and let me know if you guys can hear it okay. Because I think Ashley just lays out some great topics. And I guess before I get into her video, I said that I have a complicated feeling and relationship with the 4th of July. And one is because I do know the history of it. and I'm divided on it so many different ways. Yes, part of me goes back to when I was a kid and I was a pyro, and it's fun to be around family and have some barbecue and you know, go pop fireworks and blow up stuff. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. It's fun to be, you know, this naive patriotism that everybody, you know, consumes themselves with, especially, you know, especially in the 80s and 90s, before I felt more people were more culturally aware of what the hell has been going on. Well, also, once I joined the military, I didn't have that, you know, I had things which I experienced and I saw that made me really question the freedom of America, and made me question the country as a whole, what we put out into the world. That also leads into why for FIFA, I feel weird sometimes, you know, just jumping on the bandwagon to, you know, the US, you know, in FIFA. For one, it's not a sport that I follow. And for two, to just bandwagon on because I'm America, what does that mean? And then another thing is, from my time in the military, I don't enjoy some of the fireworks the same. I do like the ones that are off in a distance and it's nice and pretty in the sky. But I abhor hearing those loud booms in my neighborhood that remind me of fucking explosions. It's triggering every time I hear this shit. It makes my heart flutter just a little every time I hear this stuff. It gives me a little bit of PTSD. It's like, I don't mind if everybody out here having their fun or whatever, but it's like, can we not do the ones that sound like a freaking explosion is happening right next to us? And I've even looked outside. The fireworks that they're firing off in my neighborhood that are popping extremely loud, that sound like booms, they're only going like 15 feet in the air. And making, I mean, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you people are doing. It's aggravating. It's frustrating. But, you know, just the mixture of those things. And then when you go back into the Frederick Douglass speech about, you know, about freedom, which I'm going to play for you guys here. I don't know, anything you want to say before I play the video?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so let me know if you guys can hear this okay.
You sound like a word. And I just think it's funny how a country can get this old and still be dodging.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, you
One
good.
question. There's a question that's been sitting on this country's doorstep for most of its life. You can ask it at the cookout today and watch what happens. Whose independence are we celebrating? That's the question. Whose independence are we celebrating? On July 4th, 1776, who actually got free? And what is that day supposed to mean to everybody who didn't? Just watch how fast the subject changes. You'll get the troops, you'll get the men of their time. But what you won't get is an answer. And that's not an accident, and I can prove it. Because that exact question was asked out loud, formally, to a room full of important people 174 years ago. In 1852, a man in Rochester, New York got invited to give a 4th of July speech, which honestly was a bold invitation because that man had escaped slavery 14 years earlier. And thanks to the Fugitive Slave Act passed 2 years earlier, he could legally be captured anywhere in the country, including on that stage, and returned to the people who claimed to own him. They asked him to come celebrate independence in a country where more than 3 million people were still enslaved. He said, no, thank you. I'll come on the 5th. And then he delivered what might be the greatest speech in American history. And here's what people get wrong about it. They quote the angry part, but skip the architecture. Because he spends the entire first section praising the founders. Genuinely, he calls them brave men. He praises the Declaration, the principles, the courage of 1776. He lets that room full of white abolitionists relax into the story they came to hear. Then he pivots on one sentence. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. And the room can't escape because he just spent the first 20 minutes proving that he understood their founding story better than they do. And then he asks it, what, to the American slave, is your 4th of July? And he answers his own question. A sham, a day that exposes more than any other day of the year the gap between what this country says and what this country does. His name was Frederick Douglass. That speech is 174 years old. This country is 250, which means that America has spent about 70% of its existence with this question sitting in front of it, on the record, in writing. So let's do what this country never did. Let's answer it. Whose 4th of July was it? Not the enslaved. It took a war to even start that conversation. And the 13th Amendment kept the loophole, except as punishment for a crime. That got converted into convict leasing before the ink was dry. In Alabama's mines, some years, the death rate for leased convicts passed 30%. They found a way to make slavery deadlier and kept the receipts in a ledger. Not indigenous nations, then you don't have to dig for this one, because it's in the birthday document itself. The Declaration of Independence, the actual thing we're supposed to be celebrating. It refers to Native Americans as merciless Indian savages. That's in the text. 27 grievances down. And when the killing slowed, the nation just switched over to the children. Kill the Indian, save the man. Right? That was the official philosophy of the boarding schools. Children taken by force, hair cut, languages beaten out of them. The schools kept their own graveyards. They are still finding children with grave penetrating radar. Still, not women. And I don't mean the vote. Under coverture, a woman legally ceased to exist. Her property, her wages, her body absorbed into her husband. Marital rape was legal in this country until 1993. 1993. A woman couldn't get a credit card in her own name until 1974. Couldn't sit on a jury in every state until 1973, meaning that women were tried by juries that women were barred from. What? Could be fired just for being pregnant until 1978. There are women at your cookout today that lived every bit of that. And enslaved Black women don't even fit into that paragraph because coverture assumes that you had legal existence to take. The father of gynecology built his entire field on operating on women without anesthesia, enslaved Black women without anesthesia. Wait, let's keep going because not Japanese Americans either. And here's the part they don't even teach when they teach about the camps. The government knew that they were innocent first. Before Pearl Harbor, FDR commissioned an intelligence assessment, the Munson Report, if you're familiar. And it came back saying that Japanese Americans posed no threat and showed extraordinary loyalty. Naval intelligence agreed, but he incarcerated 120,000 of them anyway. The camps weren't panic. The camps were a decision made against the government's own evidence. Then the government lied to the Supreme Court about it. And when the incarceration was challenged, officials suppressed the intelligence that destroyed their military necessity story. And the court upheld the camps on the evidence that the government knew was false. The Justice Department formally confessed to the deception. In 2011, though, they took babies. Orphans with Japanese ancestry were pulled from orphanages and foster homes and incarcerated at a children's village. The colonel in charge said that 1 drop of Japanese blood was enough. Infants under guard towers. And they went shopping abroad. The U.S. orchestrated the abduction of over 2,000 people of Japanese descent from Latin America, mostly Peru. Shipped them to camps here and traded some of them to Japan in hostage exchanges. After the war, many were deported for having entered the country illegally, brought in chains, and then called illegal. When camp survivors finally won reparations in 1988, the Japanese Latin Americans were largely excluded. But, let's keep going because not Puerto Rico either, right? Which, by the way, is a colony right now, like today, on this 250th birthday, right? Okay. More than 3 million American citizens who cannot vote for president, watching fireworks about freedom. But, they can't vote is the polite version. In 1931, an American cancer researcher in San Juan, Cornelius Rhodes, he wrote a letter, y'all, calling Puerto Ricans the dirtiest, laziest, most degenerate race of men in the sphere, and bragging that he had done his best to further the extermination by killing off 8 patients. That letter surfaced. He called it a joke, and he was never prosecuted. He went on to run chemical weapons research, for the Army, of course, and became the first director of Sloan Kettering and made the cover of Time as a hero of medicine. Oncology handed out an award in his name until 2002. In 1937, on Palm Sunday, police opened fire on a peaceful nationalist march in Ponce after the U.S. appointed governor revoked the permit. 19 dead, over 200 wounded. Many were shot in the back. There is literal photographic evidence, and no officer was ever punished. In 1948, the gag law made it a crime. 10 years in prison to display the Puerto Rican flag. Owning your own flag was illegal for 9 years in an American territory. While America lectured the planet about freedom, then came the experiments, right? The first large-scale trials of the birth control pill ran on Puerto Rican women in 1956 at roughly 10 times modern doses, all without telling these women they were in an experiment. 3 women died. No autopsies, though. And by the late 1960s, a third of Puerto Rican women of childbearing age had been sterilized. La operación, the highest rate in the world, and many were never told it was permanent. And then the Navy used an inhabited Puerto Rican island, Vieques, for bombing practice for 60 years, until a bomb killed a civilian in 1999. And 4 years of protest finally forced them out. The cancer rate stayed, though. And that's just one colony. And every time any one of these people pointed at the gap, this country did the very thing it does best. It changed the subject. But stay with me, because the question doesn't stop at the border. The same country that wouldn't answer for its own people took the show on the road, internationally. And everywhere it went, it packed the same 2 items: the language of freedom and the Dodge. The Philippines, 1901. 3 years after America took the Philippines from Spain and called it liberation, Filipinos were still fighting for the independence that they thought liberation meant. After an ambush on the island of Samar, U.S. General Jacob Smith gave his men an order: kill everyone capable of bearing arms. And when he was asked where the line was, he said it: everyone over the age of 10. He said he wanted Samar turned into a howling wilderness. An American general ordered the killing of 10-year-olds in a war sold as a rescue. He was court-martialed, and his punishment for it? Retirement. Cambodia, between 1965 and 1973. The United States dropped roughly 2.7 million tons of bombs on Cambodia, more than Allies dropped on Japan in the whole of World War II, on a country that America was not at war with. Congress didn't know, and you definitely weren't supposed to know. The devastation helped the Khmer Rouge recruit its way to power, and the Khmer Rouge killed close to 2 million people. And after all that, the United States supported Khmer Rouge keeping Cambodia's seat at the United Nations. This country helped light the fire and then handed the arsonists the paperwork. El Salvador, 1981. A battalion trained by the United States walked into a village in over 3 days. They killed around 1,000 civilians. When forensic teams were finally able to dig years later, one building alone held the remains of roughly 140 children. Their average age was 6. American journalists reported it almost immediately. The Reagan administration called the reporting an exaggerated propaganda, and within days they certified to Congress that El Salvador is making progress on human rights, so the weapons could keep flowing. And of course the reporters were attacked as liars, but the bones said otherwise. Iraq, 1996. American-led sanctions have been strangling Iraq for years. Researchers said those sanctions had contributed to the deaths of 500,000 children. A journalist put that number directly to the U.S. Secretary of State on national television. 500,000 children. More than died in Hiroshima. Was the price worth it? And Madeleine Albright said, "We think the price was worth it." She didn't dispute the number that night. She accepted it and priced it. Years later, she said she regretted the answer. The phrasing, mind you, not the policy. Now, run it all back, right? Samar, everyone over 10. The boarding school graveyards. The children's village, the PII trials. The murdered children in El Salvador. The murdered children in Iraq. So Douglas asked, whose 4th of July this is? Turns out the answer, at home and abroad, has been the same for 250 years. Not yours, and not your children's either. Douglas, by the way, never told the room to burn it all down. He said the principles were worth keeping. His whole argument was that he took the Declaration more seriously than the people that were celebrating it did. Think about what that means. The most patriotic man in Rochester that day was a fugitive. The country he described more honestly than anyone had a legal claim on his body while he spoke. But he stood there anyway, held up the founding document and said, "I read it. Did you? That was 174 years ago. Since then, a civil war, 27 amendments, the camps, the gag law, all the murdered children, all the murdered people, 500,000 children priced on television, and a country that got very, very good at talking about anything else. So this weekend, the sky's gonna light up. 330 million people at the same party. The flags are up. The politicians will say freedom until it stops sounding like a word. 250 years old. And the question is still sitting on the doorstep, unopened, older than the flag, older than the White House, asked by the enslaved, asked by the Native Americans, asked by women, asked by immigrants, asked in Ponce, asked in El Salvador, in the whole of Africa, in Puerto Rico, in the Philippines, asked in Rochester, out loud, on the record, by a man the law still called property. It has never once been answered. Whose independence is this?
So, I know that was a little long, but I felt like it was important to hear that in its entirety because there's more that we can add to her list.
Okay,
The
before
United
we get
States,
to adding, but before we get to adding more to her list, we got to really just look at this in layman's terms first off, because I hear what she's saying. I'm not disagreeing with what she's saying, but if you gonna dick ride America, why do we give a fuck about another country? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the statistics. I understand we over here bombing people and minding their business, but that's the American way. If you're going to sit here and fire off a firework for 4th of July, you are okaying the American way. And the American way is we don't know how to mind our own motherfucking business. We be in everybody else's shit. That's just us. We always doing that. We was in our own shit, then we got bored. Now we in everybody else's shit. But if you're going to sit here and give me statistics about El Salvadorians, Venezuelans, Iraqians, Africans, those are other countries that didn't do this 250 years ago. So they really ain't got no talk in our talk right now because that's apples to oranges. We did that shit over here for this shit over here. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, whose freedom is it? It's white people freedom. It was white people that got mad that they didn't get their T tax right. Okay, that is white people freedom. Period.
Well, that's what I wanted to add in that because that flows in one group which I felt she missed massively that she should have put in there. She could have put in the Cubans. She could have put in especially the Haitians because though France is the one who sued them for reparations and who has left them basically into a hellhole, the United States had a big hand in what has happened to Haiti at this point. So while we talk about freedom right now and the 250th anniversary, how many other countries' freedom have we taken?
Because we minding the people's business. That is the way of America. When y'all celebrate 250 years of freedom in the same breath, y'all are taking in 250 extra years of oppressing somebody else because that is the American way. Like, it's like the fine print at the bottom of the Declaration of Independence. Y'all ain't never seen the fine print? They wrote it in invisible ink. That this is a whites only document.
Yep.
This is a whites only pie. The American pie is whites only pie. Did y'all not watch Life? It's whites only pie. American pie is whites only pie. That's why it's only got apples in it. They don't like anything else mingling in it. It's just apples. Nothing else. George Washington apples. White people apples. Prime example. You ever notice how Thomas Jefferson, he ain't never, when was Jefferson our president? The third president?
No, fifth, I believe.
He was the fifth one? Madison was the president before Jefferson?
Yeah.
James Madison was the president? Damn, I sound like I'm talking about Gucci Mane. Damn, I ain't know James, because James was the fourth president because I went to school with his great-great-grandson.
Oh, really?
I went to school with James. Yeah, I went to school, literally. Alex Madison. I went to school with President Madison's great-great-great-grandson. Me and him are the same age. Like, that's the type of shit Virginia's on. I literally went to school with a descendant of a president, and we was in the same fucking second grade classroom. Okay? That's Virginia for your ass. But the fact that, like, if y'all ever really look at how they treated Jefferson, they treated that nigga like he was fucking. He's which one?
I'm sorry. He is the third president.
He is the third.
Adams,
Thank you.
Adams, I believe, was the what was he? The second and fourth, I think.
Yeah, because it goes Washington. I think it goes Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, and then the rest of the niggas. Henry Ford or some dumb shit. I don't know. I can't remember who's five. I only stopped at four because he was cool. But if you really notice like how they treated Thomas Jefferson, like I don't know about how y'all learn history, but because all of that shit happened in Virginia, they teach us this shit in Virginia. So I've been to Monticello. It's not Monticello. It's Monticello. Okay, first off, it's Monticello. Anyway, been to the White House, been to the first White House, which was in Richmond. Been to all the shits. Okay, they tell you all the stories, all 250 some odd years. Them niggas treated Jefferson so weird. Even when he was a president, they treated him so weird with the Declaration of Independence and everything like that. Him and Ben Franklin. If you know anything about Ben Franklin, I think Ben Franklin could have been black, to be honest, because they treated that nigga weird too. But nevertheless, Ben Franklin, goddamn, Thomas Jefferson, and then who helped write the Declaration of Independence? Last name start with an H. Anyway, I'm gonna call this nigga Harry Belafonte right now. John Henry. No, Henry. I don't know. Anyway, the other dude, they treated them three motherfuckers really weird with the whole Declaration. There we go, Harrison. Thank you, William Harrison. They treated all them motherfuckers weird as hell, which makes me think that they were all descendants of black people because the Harrison family is somehow connected to having black ancestry out here. Like there's like, because what they don't know is they put all these fucking things on signs in Virginia and make you read them, but because you driving past them, nobody ever really want to stop and read them. I be stopping and reading them, and sometimes they be telling on themselves. Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
I think it was no, maybe it was Hamilton. Anyway, one of them motherfuckers.
That's right. It was Hamilton.
They treated them weird, like they was lepers, like they were black people. I don't know how else to describe it, but they always treated them weird because Jefferson didn't get into the White House. He real live ran the country from Monticello. He was like, I'm just gonna stay in my crib and run the country when he was president or whatever. Then White House got built. They let Madison get up in that bitch. Then they burnt that bitch to the ground. Then they had to turn around, flip it back, and do it again. And like the White House that Trump is tearing the fuck up right now ain't even the first joint. You know what I'm saying? That bitch done got burnt to the ground a couple of fucking times.
Yeah.
Saying all that to say this. This is the American way. They literally let motherfucking citizens January 6th the fucking White House about 3 damn times. Okay? This shit ain't new.
Yeah.
That's part of the American way. So when you asking whose freedom are they free? It's cracker freedom. Sorry, YouTube, but it is. It's cracker freedom. Saltines, not croutons. Like, it's their freedom at the end of the day. Nobody else was thought of. Everybody else was 3/5 of a human still. It's in the shit they wrote. Y'all fucking flaring up fucking fireworks for some shit that literally says them niggas over there 3/5 of a man. Them right there. And everybody that kind of look like them. 3/5 of a man. This is whites only Declaration of Independence.
Oh, Jackie, we over blaming the British.
Yeah, we don't even care about nigga. We don't care about Henry and them.
Yeah, because America has done way worse than anything the British did. They've done way worse than the rest of the world. Now
I don't know.
I can't speak for the rest of the world.
I don't know.
But I'm talking about for America.
Yeah, because I was about to say
I got some uncomfortable
the British and the Indians.
With Jamaica,
India, Australia, New Zealand. I mean, I got a couple of things that the British might have did a little fucked up. I got a couple places where Britain kind of might have fucked up a little bit. Leopold in Africa, he might have fucked up a lot of bit, you know. But as far as like America right now, bruh, we ain't even really talking about Henry and William and all of them over there. You know what I'm saying? Queen Victoria, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? King William, it is what it is. I feel you. I'd be mad too if they made my Walmart tax look crazy as fuck out of nowhere.
I mean, if you think about it, really, the worst that the British did was they wanted an additional tax on tea.
And you don't get it any fucking way. They taxing y'all on your debit cards. They taxing you on your Venmo payment. They taxing you on Cash App. They taxing you on food twice. They taxing you on drugs twice. Where the revolt at now? And that's why
Honestly,
the government thinks we pussy.
The crazy
That's
part
exactly why the
about it
government
is
thinks we pussy now.
everything that they fought against, you know, with the Boston Tea Party, is
They
literally
brought it back.
what we are now.
They brought it
Everything
right
that
back.
they were fighting against, we become. Trying to fight to not have a king, they literally want Trump to be a king. Some of these people. The high taxation.
That's why I said. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop screaming. I'm gonna stop ranting. I'm gonna stop yelling at y'all. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't have to yell and cuss. I don't have to yell and cuss. But this is exactly why in the beginning of the show, I said, if y'all are out here in Virginia celebrating this 250th anniversary of this fuckery, I believe that y'all are just going to a Klan block party. Because everything that they fucking fought for, all them fucking forefathers that y'all out here dick sucking that you don't even fucking know, but y'all believe in these niggas today. Y'all believe in them on the 4th of July. But when a black person looks at you and says, I'm going to hold you responsible for the shit that your forefathers did to my people, now you talking about them I don't own slaves. Me no white. Shit. That's that bullshit I'm talking about. We getting taxed out the fucking ass, and you sitting here popping off fireworks for motherfuckers that had the coof and the balls to say, nah, fuck that. But y'all pussy ass niggas can only do what? Storm the fucking Capitol? Suck my dick. Y'all are out here blowing up fireworks for fucking niggas that y'all claim y'all know but don't know. Y'all cool with them on the 4th, but any other fucking day of the year, you know speak of English. All of a sudden, now you got Native American in your fucking bloodline. Now you don't know these motherfuckers no more. Oh no, my grandfather didn't own slaves. Oh, you know your genealogy when it's connected to fucking Alexander Graham fucking Bell, but you don't know that shit when we want reparations. Cute. That's real cute. That's real cute. So I'm happy that y'all got to have y'all 250th Klan block party with the extra cute fireworks and the cute little shirts that y'all can commemorate this year. Suck my dick. I'm done. I'm done. Go ahead, Marcus.
No, and I don't know if you've seen how this 250 is run. It is run badly. Like, they haven't gotten the proper numbers, and it's kind of fluctuated up and down. And then it was a logistics nightmare because it started raining and they started pushing all the people out. I've learned my lesson from how it works there in DC. And don't get me wrong. I mean, because of like, you know, my interest in the press and covering these types of things and talking to people on the ground, I would have loved to have been able to be there just to interview and talk to the people, not for the festivities. I mean, but I would have liked to have been able to see it and document it and talk about it and share it with you guys. Which hopefully, my goal, hopefully in the future, is I'll be able to do more of that. Some of the stuff I saw about this whole Trump 250, which this was supposed to be kind of a nonpartisan thing, and then Trump switched it to being, you know, more of a MAGA kind of thing. Some of the pillars and stuff that they built, I don't know. Have you seen any of that too? Because if you haven't seen it, the shit is falling apart.
I have not seen any of it.
It is so cheaply done. Like, basically, I don't know if they use styrofoam or what the hell that they put this shit up with. But they basically use almost like wallpaper of what it's supposed to be and try to make these pillars and look like they were real. Like some of the pillars are literally floating off the ground. Like you see cracks in it. You know how when you see bad like wallpaper and yeah, that's what they had on the stuff. So the stuff is like falling apart. A lot of the vendors pulled out of it because that they saw that it was kind of being this partisan thing, and so they did like a generic thing for all of 50 states. It was horrendously done, and then man, I really hope that this thing can play, but I don't know if you saw it. It kicked off I think the Saturday event with a skydiver with the American flag crashing into a tent. I believe that there was a casualty also. Somebody died out there. The whole thing, and then you had the white nationalists and a lot of Trump supporters. Like it was dead most of the other days, and then I guess Saturday for the actual 4th, you had a bunch of people there, and the people came there. It was rain issues, and so they start trying to get all the people out. It turned into a hot mess. You had people sheltering in the, and basically them saying, "All right, go the fuck home, go, get out." I mean, it was so horrible how they handled a lot of this stuff. And one of the lessons I take from my time that I spent out there in DC is the moment you get to DC, especially if you're not staying in DC and you need or something like that, a close city or somewhere in Maryland or somewhere else in Virginia, you need to make sure to plan your exit almost the moment you get there. You need to get in touch with Uber drivers, figure out where you're going to be able to go, maybe talk to security and figure out which areas are going to be blocked off. Because one thing that blew my mind about it is going into DC during their trains, they are extremely complicated. It is not simplistic like a lot of other places. And they're kind of just pushing you through like, go. Just pay for a thing and get the hell out of here. And they're just kind of like ushering people along as if everybody knows where the hell they're going. And that's one of the big issues with it. A lot of people are coming to DC, maybe it's their first time, and they have no clue where the hell they're going. And they're just ushering through people through there. So sometimes you might be paying for transportation, which you don't actually need, where you can just walk upstairs and walk out. Or you might get back. And one of the issues I had when I went out there for the inauguration, I tried to come back the way which I came out. They told me to keep heading out to the left. And then I got to a corner where there was another security checkpoint. They told me to keep going further to the left and wrapping around the building. I get around the building to another checkpoint. They tell me to keep going, basically making me walk basically a good 2 miles around the train station, because the train station probably takes you at least probably a good 2 miles to walk all the way around the thing. Just to get back around to the entrance, which if I could have just backed out from where I was at and went over probably 20 yards, I could have went in at that entrance, which wasted a lot of my time and made me make sure to miss the train getting out of there. And then once the rates, because you can't get out very well, and you have this mad rush of people who are all trying to get the hell out of there at the same time, the Uber and Lyft rates start jumping like crazy. Let's say, for instance, your ride was going to be probably a $50, Uber or Lyft ride. If you get out right at that time, yeah, it might be 55, 60. And then for every like 10 minutes after that, you're watching it just jump and jump and jump and jump. And so like if you're an hour out, you're looking at now, instead of that $50 that you were looking at, now you're looking at 120. Then it jumps up to like 130, 150. Next thing you know, it's looking at like $200 for you to get out of there or more. And it's maddening. And for people who are not familiar with that or haven't been there, it's a shock, because everybody who's there, the service and all that, they're not accommodating at all. They don't try to like help you figure out anything. They're just like, keep moving, go that way, keep moving, go, keep moving, get out of here, go that way. And they don't give a damn if you're staying out there all night long. So I get it, and I feel I feel for those people a little bit who are trapped out there. And it's kind of a crazy way for especially people who thought, you know what, I got a little money saved aside. I'm gonna go out to DC and I want to see the fireworks, and I'll go out to this Trump 250. Yeah, maybe I don't like Trump. Maybe I love Trump, but I just want to go out there for the festivities. For you to get out there, and then it's almost like, Martin telling you, all right, get the step and get out of my house. And that's kind of how it kind of operates. All of a sudden they'll just tell everybody, all right, time to go, 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 go. I don't care how you get out of here. I don't care where you need to go. Just go, get out, go, go, move that way, move that way, move that way. And it's very pushy. It's very rude. That's one thing I think you should definitely know about DC. And I wonder how that worked because I know that there were plenty of tourists in the area who were watching games in New York and New Jersey, and how many decided, you know what? It's not that far to hop on the train and just coast right down to the inauguration and let's see. I wonder if we'll see videos about people dealing with their frustrations of how everything went. But yeah, that's just so. I mean, I guess I'm speaking from some of my experience, but seeing all those people who are trapped and frustrated. Also, it's raining, which for me it was. I want to say it was like 3 degrees, 4 degrees. Which I'm trying to think what would for my Brits who use Celsius. Let me think, what would that be? 4 degrees in Celsius. That would be, I guess it says 39.2 degrees. I don't know. Is that right? I think that's wrong. Oh, I guess it says, yeah, 4 degrees. No, I think I did that wrong. 4 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what I need. Fahrenheit to Celsius. So that would be negative 15 degrees Celsius. So yeah, I guess that makes a little bit more sense. I was like 32 didn't sound right. So basically I was out in negative 15.5 and it was blistering. And the amount of money that I budgeted for me to be able to, if I needed an Uber or whatever, I very quickly got priced out and could not afford it. I use Fahrenheit in the summer. I should stop doing that. Well, I mean, I guess if you know how to read between the both, then that's, I don't see a harm or a foul in using either one. I mean, it's just, I guess being a uninformed American, we just don't use Celsius. And so since we don't use Celsius, it doesn't click in our mind to convert it most of the time. And it's the same thing with like dealing with kilometers and stuff. We don't really use kilometers either. Which or meters. That's another thing, which I probably should get better at understanding this, since a lot of audiobooks I read, or I can tell that people are using the metric system. And so they're saying stuff that I'm like, they're like, yeah, and this is 3 meters. And I'm like, I have no clue what length or, length or height these people are talking about. So I'm always trying to Google and figure out what the hell they're saying. It's interesting. But dang, the last topic I wanted, Teal to weigh in on, TPS. But I said my goal is I don't want to keep you guys too long because I know your match is on. But I guess I will talk about it a little bit, I guess, since Teal's not back. And then if I don't get her soon, I will go ahead and end this out. That way you guys can get back to your match. Yeah, exactly. We use inches, feet, yards, miles, and so much. I guess it gets ingrained into our head. using that so much that we never even try to learn it. I mean, I think in some schools, which are a little ahead of the curve, they may teach it, but you're taught it like once in like second, third grade. You don't remember it because you never use it again. And also it's not in practice around you. So people in the UK are supposed to use the metric system, and they do in shops, but ordinary people still use miles and pounds and ounces. Interesting. It's just like, I remember trying to figure out shoe shopping when I was in Europe, and I was like, okay, so I guess I wear like I was like 40 something. I don't remember. It's like, I think I wore like a 42 or something. Oh, I'm not sure, but something like that. What would that be? 42 shoe size. Let's see. Shoe size is equivalent to no, I guess I don't wear a 42. I think it says I think it may be a 40, maybe that's a 47 that I'm thinking. So yeah, I would probably wear like a 47, 48. Yeah, like a 47, 48 shoes. And so it was like really tripping me up to try to get used to these size differences. I always remember that a quarter mile is 1,320 feet thanks to drag racing. Oh, interesting. Interesting. But I guess what I have to say on the TPS situation, them denying the TPS, and it being what it basically denies residency for over what 300, I think it's like 320 to 350,000 Haitians. And my issue with it would be the simple fact that Haiti is a failed state. Thank you. Till is coming back right now. Perfect time. And I'm just like, do we really feel this need so badly to get rid of these people that we're going to send them back to a possibly dangerous area? I mean, some of these people were leaving the area because of the danger. And so now we're just saying, oh, screw it. We don't give a damn. Throw you back. So I'm crazy. Till, you there? Guess she's still having a little bit of problems audio wise. But yeah, my thing is, for a lot of these people who are supporting the Trump administration on removing the TPS situation, and who were backing the whole birthright citizenship thing, it's a slippery slope for a lot of people. And it's like, I know personally that's not something that I have to worry about at all, but I don't think how many people who do have to worry about that take the threat as seriously as they probably should. It's some people who, I guarantee you, who voted for Trump, who have now got deported back to Cuba, for instance. And when the United States starts going in and bombing and whatever, how crazy would that be if some of the very people who voted for Trump ended up getting deported just for them to possibly be killed in the attack? So it's like literally you, throughout a long means, you set upon your own destruction, or possibly your family's destruction. So it's kind of crazy to me for people who are naturalized citizens or have family members who don't have their citizenship paperwork, up to date, or that's the thing with this administration. It doesn't even matter. I think that even if you did it properly, just like in the situation of the Haitians with the TPS, they filed all their paperwork properly. Most of them have not been a problem. They are just going and they're working and they're living. But, people want them out. And it goes back to what a lot of people in MAGA really care about is they don't like the browning of America. They don't like any of these immigrants becoming Americans. And it has nothing to do with, like I heard Megyn Kelly make this argument about they're not, assimilating. You don't care about them assimilating. You care because they're not white. And if they were coming from Norway, Sweden, Italy, any of these other countries, and they were keeping keeping to their European customs, let's say they were Nordic and all that and weren't becoming a Christian evangelical, you wouldn't care. It's only got to do with because they're not white. Because you have people like Vivek, who's assimilated, even though he's not a Christian nationalist, he carries water for him, and you guys won't accept him. So it proves it's not about assimilation. It's not about, it's about one thing and one thing only. It's about whiteness. And that's one thing that I wish that people in the Trump administration at this point just stop lying about it. I mean, we hear you guys all over social media. You guys dog whistle it all over the place. And obviously there's no means of pushback that you have to deal with through the court systems or through legislature. So why hide your bigotry? Just let it out. I mean, it reminds me of what is it? The Chappelle Show, when he was doing the the Clayton Bigsby. He was like, if you got hate in your heart, let it out. And it's like, we know y'all got hate in your heart. Stop lying about it. Stop gaslighting us. Everybody can see it clearly. Sorry, Till, are you back?
Yes, I am. Sorry, y'all. It's so hot, my phone overheated.
It's all right. I was talking about TPS, and so I figured we can go ahead and get ready to end on that note, because I know people are going to want to watch the match or the pitch, whichever you guys call it. And I figured you definitely wanted to sound off on this TPS thing, because I think I've said all I need to say.
I mean, it's self-explanatory. I mean, if you look at the countries in which are being affected by it, it's not hard to see who the issue is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't see Ireland on that list. Damn sure didn't see Scotland on that list. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I seen Somalia on that list. I seen every disparaging brown community that Trump had his mouth on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't never see him saying he want to have threesomes with the Prime Minister of Haiti. I don't see him saying he want to have threesomes with, the leader of the Congo, Kenya. I don't never see him trying to say he want to suck those guys' dicks. His sons, yes.
Oh yeah, that was a gross, man. That was so gross.
Hey, but these motherfuckers put him in office, y'all. You feel me? And like, and this is one of the things, and this has something to do with it, but it don't, but it do. So just check me out on this. Y'all heard I was just taking my stepson shopping. Boom, we in the grocery store. See a little Caucasian girl come in the grocery store. She had a shirt on, no bottoms. I'm assuming she just had her bathing suit bottoms on, right? Shirt on, no bottoms. I looked, I said, damn, that kid looked like she naked. My son goes, yeah, that's crazy. And I said, but watch, that same white mom would have a problem if a predator either tried to take that little girl, say something slick to that little girl, all this, that, a third. Motherfuckers like creating the problem, but then don't like the result when they get it. You can't sit here and in one breath say, oh, you don't like child predators. You think it's weird that old men like young girls, all this, that, and the third, but y'all done put one of them motherfuckers in office. And you wondering why he do weird shit. You can't sit here and let your child go to the grocery store where there is an abundance of people. Not saying that there's predators, but there's an abundance of people in this fucking store, and you got your child in this store with no bottoms on. But you're gonna get mad at the rapey ass old man in the produce section for eyeballing your grandchild, but you the reason that your grandchild outside looking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You looking at the way that the world is going. And y'all, not saying us in this community that's watching this show right now, but y'all as a whole, one band, one sound, is the reason that we looking crazy right now. Y'all put a crazy motherfucker in charge, and now everybody want to act like they lost in the sauce, like they don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, what? Make that shit make sense. All that to say this. The same people that sit here, break their motherfucking back to build this motherfucking country are the same motherfuckers that's gonna be on the first motherfucking plane about this motherfucker. So when this bitch get to crumbling, just saying. So when this bitch get to crumbling, and y'all trying to figure out what the fuck happened, just remember, y'all decided that y'all wanted to put a pedophile, a weirdo, a fugazi, a little dum-dum in office over any other motherfucker on the planet Earth at this point. Because actually, any other motherfucker, shit, Marcus could be a better president than us right now. We ain't even got to know all the shit.
Yeah.
Y'all rather have a dude that'll get on the mic, talk about he want to have a threesome with his son. That's weird. Not just because it's his son, but like if y'all know math, I know math. By the transitive property, you sucking your son's dick. That's weird. That's weird shit. Y'all do the math. That's weird as fuck. Okay? Not to mention, y'all talk about pedos and age gaps. That's weird. That checks off 3 weirdo boxes. First off, you a grown ass man. Weird. Second of all, that's incest. Weird. Third of all, what the fuck? Who says some weird ass dumb ass shit on the mic? They censor us for what we say. FBI agent got to get paid every fucking week just for us to be able to fucking show y'all a fucking clip of some shit that's on the news by itself. We get fucking censored, but this fucking dementia-filled fucktard gets to get on the fucking mic live as fuck and say weird shit like that, and don't nobody say nothing about it. That's the country that y'all just put fireworks up in the air for. That same motherfucker just said, no, we can't have no more Hades in here. We can't have no more Somalians in here. We can't have no more Ethiopians. We can't have no more any of these other motherfucking countries. Cool. Cool. That's cool. Watch this bitch crumble. That's why, those are the reasons why him doing that dumbass shit and letting his homeboys take over these lobbying ass fucking things, even though we're not supposed to lobby. He cutting all these deals for these weak ass fucking companies that like to cut corners because they'd rather go fuck on kids instead of doing a fucking job. And that's why you got solar planners blowing up fucking goddamn warehouses, and now you got the fucking plague about to happen in California. If the zombie apocalypse start, boom, it's starting there. Same motherfucker that put more money in ICE trying to kick in niggas' doors of people that are actually working in this country instead of kicking in the doors of the nigga that's on the Epstein fucking file. Oh, you know why? Because those motherfuckers are signing their checks. That's why.
Oh, did you see how they got Miriam Adelson out all nice and easy while they left everybody all screwed?
Yes. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, motherfuckers is getting off from storming the Capitol, but everybody else getting 150,000 fucking years. It's a mess. It's a fucking mess. It's a mess. So, yeah. Hashtag, you don't want the Haitians in here? By all means, let them go home. Fuck it. Let them go home. Let them go home. You don't want the Somalians here? Let them go home. You don't want the Mexicans here? Let them go home. Send their asses home. Send them home. Send them home and see what you left with. That's all I want y'all to know. That's all I want everybody to see. Send them niggas home and see what you left with. Because that's the same way that if you ever been a manager or a person of leadership, that's exactly what the fuck happens. You will send somebody home because of some bullshit. Some redlining ass dumbass shit. Yo super big boss and said, no, you gotta send that person home for XYZ. They might be the best motherfucking worker you got. Now you stuck with the crumbs.
Yeah,
fucking bump.
I said, well, they don't realize they let this shit slide, and the people who are supporting Trump in this, because pretty soon they're gonna be coming for your house.
Yeah. Y'all better watch motherfucking goddamn The Boys. Watch the boys. See how the motherfuckers was kicking in doors and stuff about superheroes.
Yep. Then it'll go from not just the Haitians need to go. Anybody who thought the Haitians should be able to quit. Because you already hear Trump starting the McCarthyism already about communists. I don't know. It just shows me also how old this dude is, because it's like, you really think you scare somebody with this communist bullshit? I mean, conservative. The only person who's scared is yourselves. Nobody else give a shit about this. Oh, the communists are coming. Shut the fuck up.
Didn't we already handle that like during the Cold War era? Didn't the Cold War already pass? Didn't we do that shit already?
I mean, also in America, the only problem we've ever had is from the capitalists. So I don't get why you think you can boogeyman scare everybody with communism or socialism or democratic socialism or any of that shit. All of our problems with capitalism, point blank, period.
They don't know that. They just go off of whatever the headlines say, bro. I'm super convinced. That's all they care about is whatever the headlines say. What the headlines say? Communism. That's who we hate this week. It was Haitians last week. It's communists this week. Kamala Harris, and she ain't even said nothing in 6-7 months. The fuck? Obama's dick. Like, what the fuck? Trump be minding business that ain't got shit to do with him all the fucking time. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird niggas.
I'm just at the point now where anybody but Trump.
Ooh, child. Say it again.
And like, it's hard to like cover news at this point because I never consider myself a person that has so-called Trump derangement. But I find like I do have a hatred for this dude. Like anytime I hear him talking, it irks my nerves. I mean, it just aggravates the fuck out of me. I mean, I really wish that I had a time machine when shooting the fade back in the day.
Ooh, child.
That's what it's from. Somebody didn't put hands on him like he needed. Somebody should have lumped them eyes up. Worse than they are already.
That's how you know, and that's exactly how you know he ain't never get his ass beat by the right person. Convinced.
You
wouldn't talk. Yeah, you wouldn't be talking that much if you got beat up one good time by one good person.
You can tell that dude ain't never been in a scrap. In fact, he got the energy of somebody who used to get bullied by like older brothers or something.
He has the energy of somebody that wanted to be a police officer, but they told him no. And he thought just because he was the hall monitor in high school that he had a chance. That's the energy he got.
Before, I used to feel like, you know what? I hope that they end up getting out of office and impeaching him and seeing him go to prison. But at this point, I'm just like, can this dude just not wake up? I'm fine with that.
Whose prison he going to is what I want to know. As many people as he locked up, where he gonna go? Because somebody gonna touch his ass. For real.
I don't know. From the way we heard he got down, he might want that.
Yeah, I mean, he want his sons to touch on him, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he probably got a picture of his daughter up on the wall too.
I bet you he thinks about that new development that they about to build. I bet you he's like, yeah, they gonna let me touch on my kids over there. Fucking weirdo.
Oh, did you hear about the girl who claiming that she's Trump's secret wife?
No.
Yeah, they got a girl out there. She's claiming to be Trump's secret wife.
Oh hell, Melina about to get her killed.
One of his staffers.
Yeah, Melina about to get her killed. She's not about to be here much longer.
Now, what the rumor is that she's not Trump's secret wife. What she actually is a hospice nurse taking care of him. and they figured it'd just be easier to make it salacious that he got some woman, you know, around him that he might be fooling around with, than the fact that he actually has a nurse there wiping his ass for him.
I mean, I hope somebody doing it, because every time he be getting on TV and be farting and stuff, them things be wet. I got to get that under control. Like, come on now. That man get on TV, get embarrassing y'all.
Corey Lord says his ass assistant.
Yes. I wonder how you apply for that job, too. Hey, man, we just need you here to make sure that he don't shit on himself. Okay. Yeah, just make sure he don't shit on himself, okay?
Yeah, they saying that the woman is she's like, I love him. I'm in love with him and all this shit.
Yeah, all right. Nobody loves this motherfucker. His mama didn't even love him. What you talking about?
Honestly, that might be the only person who did.
I don't think she did. I don't think she did at all, to be honest. That is not a man that had good motherly love.
I highly doubt his daddy did.
Oh, we know his daddy couldn't stand his ass. We could tell. He ain't tough enough. He ain't tough enough to be all the shit his daddy did? Hell no. That's why it's given like he got like made into this person. Like, you gotta have a handler, bro. He has to have a handler, because like any other parent would have like took him on a nice little hunting trip and left.
Oh, that's an interesting question or interesting comment. I'll respond to it. It says, isn't there a certain level of hypocrisy of people who, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for my thing to pop on the screen, and so it's still slowed. It says, isn't there a certain level of hypocrisy of people who are anti-migrant when you look at the U.S. and British migrants or expats? Yeah, I mean, a lot of those people who actually, to some degree, some of them are expats, and I don't think they have a problem with migration.
Did we lose Marcus again?
It's crazy. I start talking about wanting to leave the country, and it wants to shut me up.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I said, oh shit now. But yeah, there is a level of hypocrisy. This, if you believe in what 4th of July is, it's literally celebrating being migrants and then saying, no, we don't want to do that no more. Like, everything, it's all hypocrisy. The entire way this nation was created was based off of hypocrisy. Seriously. Just join American history. American history is hypocrisy. So, yes, Jackie, thank you for that clever observation. But yes, like the entire, yes, Bad Cookies, they are on his ass. They are on his ass today, Bad Cookies. They are not letting him let up. And that's funny. Yes, the winds are teal. Because I was sitting in front of my fan, like trying to figure out, like, did we lose Marcus? But the entire way that our country was built was off of the entire mindset that, oh, we don't want to live by rules from somebody over there, but yet we allow people to come from over there to assimilate to our rules, and they change the rules every other week. Like that's pretty much it. Like, especially now, more now than ever, they'll change the rules every other week. Or now they're getting introduced to something, and when I say they, I'm talking about our government. But like our government gets introduced to something new, and then they're like, "No, we don't like that. No, we don't like that." But this is supposed to be the melting pot. This is supposed to be the place in which you have the freedom of choice. But yet, your choice has stipulations and fine print, and you don't see the fine print until you fuck up. Now there's fine print. You know what I'm saying? So our entire country, it was built on the backs of hypocrisy, just to turn around and be even more hypocritical when it came to accepting change, because we wanted to have change, or they wanted to have change in 1776. And then to turn around again and to now put stipulations on freedom, and now put goalposts on freedom, and it's just so wild. It's just so crazy. And it's like, yeah, we were oppressed by Britain. Now we want to oppress other people like Britain oppressed us. Like, what? Why? Why? For what? For taxes.
It's always funny to me when I hear people talk about America, the greatest nation, the most powerful nation. How did you become this great powerful nation? From stealing and oppressing others. That's the only way America would be what it is, because you were the greatest oppressor of all time. The greatest oppressor of all time. Think about it. You made your money. Well, first you stole the land and genocided people. And then you made your money off of enslaving, groups.
They are on Marcus's ass like back pockets today. But I wish I could bring it to the forefront. But what Bad Cookies had just said to Alex, when he said, I really don't like the you will own nothing and like it plan. Maybe let's talk about that real quick before we end the show. Because I have a feeling Marcus probably want to come back and end the show because they're not letting up. But yes, Bad Cookies, the fact that you're now here in this country and you can now possibly make a living wage that shits on the boomers' living wage. You know what I'm saying? And still not even get a fraction of what the fucking boomers got is fucking crazy to me. Like, talking to my friends and understanding, like, prime example, like the coal mines back in the day that the boomers have are now shipyards in a sense. If you live on the East Coast anywhere, you know what I'm saying, or West Coast or coast at all, you understand that there are shipyards out here. And it's one of those things that, like, if you ain't really do the best in high school, you can go to the shipyard. If you did good in college, you can go to the shipyard. Shipyard is a melting pot of a ton of people with different levels of education and backgrounds, okay? But at the end of the day, it reminds me, and if you've seen Django, y'all will understand this reference. It reminds me of going to the LeQuint Dickey farm. The shipyards are the LeQuint Dickey farm, where you will come there, they're going to take away your name, they're going to give you your tool, you're going to work until your back give out, then they're going to knock you in the head, throw you in the ditch, okay? There are so many people that I know, grandparents that had mesothelioma and asbestos poisoning and all this, that, and third from working in the shipyards. No better than the coal mines. But these same people that are working in this heat on these fucking ships are the same motherfuckers that will make enough money. They're making $35, $40 an hour in Virginia, okay? Not DC, because DC, even though it's a part of Virginia, they have a whole different tax bracket. But you will live down here in Virginia and make all this money and still can't buy a house. Still have to have a side job. And it's insane because you got to be there 4 o'clock in the morning to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When the fuck are you going to be able to even have a part-time job to make ends actually meet? And you're still paying rent? You'll never own that apartment. They'll fly you out to other shipyards, San Diego, Maine, all these other places. You get all this money, this per diem and everything else, and you barely have enough money to fucking buy a house. Because the housing market is ass. But instead of any of them motherfuckers up there at Capitol Hill or any of these motherfucking politicians are actually trying to make it feasible for humans in America, humans now, citizens of America, to even make a way of living. And let's even go as deep as what the fuck they're dick riding on. Let's just do American citizens, not immigrants. You haven't even made it okay for American citizens to be able to fucking get a piece of land, a property, a doorknob in this motherfucker to call their own. But y'all worried about other motherfuckers. It's crazy. We done sent so much money across the pond. It's crazy. And niggas can't even fucking buy a house, and they busting their ass, getting their taxes taken out to pay for somebody else's education in a house across the way, where they blowing up somebody else's fucking house across the way. Please make it make sense to me. Please make it make sense to me. Okay, we got you subscribing, bro. Y'all pay subscription fees just to keep a roof over y'all head. Y'all understand it, right? The same way that y'all pay Amazon Prime to get y'all shit to that same place that you don't own is the same way that they got y'all paying rent, like a subscription plan for a place you'll never fucking own. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, Jackie, what you said there about like houses in the U.S., you can own a house in the U.S., and if you don't pay your taxes or your taxes get behind, they can take the house from you.
Yes.
So you still don't own the house. Like that was something that surprised me about Ireland. Like you could pay it off and be done with paying taxes. So like you just own the house, you can have no more income, and you can own your house outright, and it's just yours. So I guess let me try to get ready to wrap this as much as I can before it kicks me out again. It is, I don't know what's going on.
And for the record, Alex, I'm not blaming boomers. I'm letting you see the difference between their generation and our. I not once did I say it was the boomers' fault. Never came out of my mouth. What I said was boomers had a different way of living in which their money was able to be used in a better way than ours. Not once did I blame anybody. I'm blaming the government at the end of the day. So before you get to putting ticks and all that other shit in my fucking rant, hear what I'm saying first. Don't take one word and then run with it because you got your feelings hurt. Listen to the whole message.
Yeah, I mean, in closing, I mean, we're in a tough situation, and like I tell everybody, hey, I plan my escape. Just figure out where's your landing spot going to be, because I got the feeling that this country is only going in one direction. And my reference point is I think about how things were, through each decade of my life, and I only see us going in one direction. And no pun on the music group, but that direction don't look good. And so it has to give at some point. The country's only going to go one way. And so it's going to continuously get worse. And I've even heard some statisticians say that part of the goal is they want to make things more expensive on our population so that they can bring our wages down to the level of the rest of the world. And I don't know how we reconcile bringing our wages down more in balance with the rest of the world when our cost of living is different than the rest of the world.
Well, Germany just decided they no longer wanted to do sick leave.
It's going to be a harsh cut on most of us than I think we anticipate. And I think it's going to cross everybody across the boards now. I think it's going to hit the younger the generation, the worse it's going to hit them, because they have less embedded savings, and some of them may have found their little niche and made money through TikTok or YouTube or whatever it may be. But for those who don't have some form of like a 401k that they're able to pull out at a certain point before it all collapses, or find a way to make money off of crypto before it all collapses, I think it's going to lead to a very dire straight situation and a collapse within the United States. And I can see very much that these younger generations that don't have much fight in them, because I don't feel this younger generation is very tough, and I think that they give up far too easily, and they're a little bit more on the sensitive side, to be honest. They don't have like that, stiffen up your upper lip, as I would say, elder millennials or Gen X or some of the boomers or the silent generation had. And I think when those tougher times come, unfortunately, I think more of them are going to go the way of eating lead or going out in other ways, because I don't see a revolt happening. Just like I know plenty of people talk about like that's what we need, but I don't see the generation we have with the stomach to do that, nor the strategic acumen to strategize it, to plan it, and also the way technology is now, it makes it 10 times harder to be able to plan some kind of revolt, because now they're able to monitor all your communications. They're able to monitor all your purchases and sales. They're able to see, oh, you're building up a warehouse to try to save money over here. And they're able to get ahead of these said revolutions because of the technology allowing them to be so ever present and be so much into everybody's business. And I think that's part of the goal, so that they have, it's always been that these people want to be like God. And I know a lot of people don't like the religious talk, but just bear with me for a second. I believe that, just like it says in the scripture, that how they want to be everywhere and see everything, you don't have to believe in God to understand that concept of a government that wants to have that type of power, to be able to monitor your every move, to be able to predict your every move, to be able to, oh, this person thinks they're going to do this or do that. Oh, okay, we got them. To be able to embed communications all over. And I think the technology is only going to get, more advanced. I saw a video about some of those robot dogs, how they're getting better and better at firing back or shoulder propelled, ammunition. Basically the equivalent of like a 9mm on their back and able to just fire repeated rounds. And I believe their goal is to build up a artificial force, be it robots, drones, or whatever, to be able to put down the revolution before it gets going, because they know that these conditions are going to lead to it eventually. And so I think all they're doing is preparing year after year after year, and fortifying this defense so that they have so many ways to attack. And I think that the only way to get around that and to get away from that is to get the hell out of here. And I don't know. I'll leave for those. Maybe people's like, oh, you worry too much, Marcus, or, I disagree with you. I think there's a way we can fight. I just look at, this is the goal, that they want to have the power to be everywhere, to know everything, to monitor everyone, and to anticipate your thoughts. So if they can anticipate your thoughts, they can stop your thoughts before you even get going. And I think that is the goal. So I'm just saying, I'm looking at a country which countries out there that none of the so-called first world powers want anything from. Okay, you don't want any materials from this place? Okay, cool. I'm looking at that. Who doesn't have crazy, what natural disasters that I have to worry about? And I'm going to take the little bit of money that I've accumulated and worked for over the years, and I'm going to go and live a more simple, humble life, without dealing with the pesticides. And that's the thing. That's another thing. Even let's say, for instance, on a more optimistic tone, we were able to spark this revolution and build to a more promising union and a more promising government. we still got to deal with the pollution in the air, the pollutions in our food, the pollution throughout our water, in so many ways which they poisoned us. Like, I thought about like how many people I knew of when they were in the military and they went to Europe and just eating European food without being on a diet or anything. How many of them just start getting in shape? And it's because their food is so much healthier than ours, just because they have at least some bare minimum restrictions on, okay, we can't completely just poison our people. Whereas in America, they don't give a damn about that. They'll poison the shit out of everybody. Poison you, poison your baby, poison your grandpa. They don't care. Because they poison you with the food, they can make money on the back end from admitting you to the hospital, and then make money on the back end of that by selling you medications and drugs. And then if they don't make money off of, then even after they made that money, let's say you pass on and make money through the insurance markets, and they make money through the burial, and they make money even, some of them have insurances on just your life because you work for a corporation. And so there's so many ways that they're profiting and benefiting off of you. So even if you do, get this country back and take over it, are you ruling a place that's completely contaminated and the level of work that it takes to even work this back? I don't know. I don't know the answers to that. But for me, I'm just like, you know what? You got it. That's why FBAs, y'all want to fight so hard for America? Cool. It is all yours. You can have it. You can stay there. You can be cool in the gang, playing the music while the ship is going down. You have fun with that. But I'm going to try to find a way to get off of this hamster wheel and the stress that we deal with in the Western world, and try to get to how we should be living, enjoying yourself, enjoying the community that you have around you with, my remaining years, especially at that point, instead of spending my time stressed out on trying to rebuild something that's 75, 80%, maybe 90% destroyed. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a pessimist. I don't know. But I've always considered myself somebody who tries to be optimistic, but I just don't see the means in how we overturn this system. I don't see the means, whether that's from external forces or through the electoral process or through creating a new party to go through it, because the corruption is so deep throughout this country. When you got local city council races, which they're dropping $1 million into a local city council race, for what? What are you trying to put into that area? And once these data centers start going in all over the place, you mean on top of the fracking, on top of, power lines all over the cities, I just see that for the 1,000 different flavors of every type of food that you want, there's 1,000 different poisons that you're putting into your body also, that at some point you're going to have to deal with and acknowledge. I'm sorry if I took more of a negative viewpoint, or, some can say you're extremely black pilled. I'm just calling it how I see it at this point. I hate to rain on anybody's parade, but if there's somebody that can show me the way out of this, I'm all ears and listening. And I'll leave it at that. Anything you want to say, Till, before we get ready to wrap?
No, I'm done ranting for the night because, our community understands the vibes. Our community definitely understands the vibes. So thanks, y'all. We appreciate y'all being here. I'll probably start doing like my little old personal talks or whatever. It won't be completely politically based. It's just gonna be like more or less a social conversation. And then it can also give y'all some insight. Oh Lord, we done lost Marcus again. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christos. But yeah, I'll probably mine will just be more or less like just conversational pieces. That's pretty much it. And give y'all a little insight and like more personal level on me, let y'all know some of the things that I do for those days when I am or am not present on the show. Y'all be wondering like where in the world is Teal? You know, I'll be dropping some of my vlog pictures from like the Kanye concert and then more talks about, you know, when I go see Dr. Umar again. So I'll pretty much use that time on the channel to showcase those things. And we're gonna wait for Marcus to get back so he can do our outro. I hope his phone didn't die. It might have died because he was using that bad boy for the majority of it. But yeah, I'm not completely pessimistic, but I'm also a person that's about like that's on the verge of wanting to slide the fuck out of the country too, because I can see it for what it is. But yeah,
I tried to hop on my phone.
See, I knew it. I knew it. So, but yeah, I agree with how Marcus is viewing things because it's kind of a moot point after a while, you know, of beating the dead horse of democracy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, Marcus, I'll let you go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap. And like I say, if you guys got other things where you can say, you know what, Marcus, I think you're looking at it half empty instead of half full, and you know, just listen to my prescriptions, and you know what, I'm willing to listen. Just let me know. And so, on that note, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Much love to y'all. Hopefully next week the stream is better. I don't know what's going on. And then keep an eye out for. I'm gonna start doing some short videos, possibly on the other channel. I don't know if I'll do it on this channel or the other channel. I don't know. I might do it on the other channel, just reaction stuff that won't be maybe as political. But I was thinking to do it over there so that I have one channel where I can say whatever the hell I feel like, and another channel that's a little bit more measured. So that's it.
With that said, this has been the Political Matrix. This is your girl Voodoo. That's my dog, Marcus Morpheus Cage. And he's got a mean echo. So peace in the Middle East. Hopefully, one day soon.
There is discrimination in this world, and slavery and slaughter and starvation. Governments repress their people. Millions are trapped in poverty, while the nation grows rich, and wealth is lavished on armaments everywhere. These are differing evils, but they are the common works of man. They reflect the imperfection of human justice, the inadequacy of human compassion, our lack of sensibility towards the suffering of our fellows. But we can perhaps remember, even if only for a time, those who live with us are our brothers, that they share with us the same short moment of life, that they seek as we do, nothing but the chance to live out their lives in purpose and happiness, winning what satisfaction and fulfillment they can.